Well, the one word that I've heard a lot after the last game is that you should be proud. You know, proud of the way the team finished or team played. I'm kind of in my own mind and talking about it, trying to define it a little bit more narrowly, I guess, to say that I'm really proud about the effort. I'm really proud about the no quit in our team, and I'm proud about the identity that we established. Again, this year, I think we established it. Next year, I think we built on it. And now I think that the Blue Jackets are well known around the league for the identity that we have, which is hardworking, hard to play against, never quit, blue-collar team. And I'm really proud of that. And basically to say the same thing as Richie said, that let's not be satisfied here. We were 15th in the league, like he said. But it makes me really excited about the potential that we have within our group. I talked to the players after the season ended, and I can't wait to get started for next year. Everybody needs their rest. I need my rest after this year. Get it at some point, but it's exciting to look at our guys on the individual level, and then as a team, how much room we have for improvement there. We have the youngest team in the league, and everybody can get better. I'm so excited about the potential that we have there, but also with our more experienced guys. We don't have any guys that are over the hill. I always believe that everybody can improve, and as Richie mentioned too, that we had guys step up in the playoffs. You know, Sergei Bobrovsky was always a big part of our success last year, this year. Brandon Dubinsky, the way he played against arguably the best player in the world, Sidney Crosby, and did a great job on him and drove our team on the ice. Jack Johnson, incredible performance in the playoffs, in my opinion. The young guys. You know, Nick Foligno was hurt and came back and scored the OT winner. A lot of different guys on individual level, the way they stepped up and contributed to the team. It makes me excited about the potential that we have. Ryan Johansson, I get goosebumps now thinking about where this guy could go with his career. And it's basically all in his control. I've said this in the meetings with the guys, individual meetings, that what those guys have and how they play the game, you can't get much better in the area of hockey sense anymore. Your instincts for the game you've learned through the years when you played as a kid and on the pond in the backyard. But the stuff that it's in their control, where they can take their game to the next level just by working harder, working smarter, and putting the effort in and the commitment into the off season. Now we got 5 months to get prepared for the next year, and some of that will be obviously rest now and get ready to train. But I wish the training camp time was here already and we could get started, because of the potential that I see with our group. And it's such a pleasure to be around a group of guys that like each other so much and trust each other and really enjoy each other as much as those guys do. And as, again, Richie mentioned the word family, I try to be careful with the word family because you don't trade family members. But it's a great group of guys, honestly. It's a really a special group of guys. I've been around a lot of teams. I've played on teams, and even when I was a player, I used to study the groups and kind of see what made that group special. And one of my most fond memories of my playing days was playing on the Canada Cup team, Team Finland, in 1991. And before the tournament, we were called Team Terrible by the Canadian media, but we finished third, which was unbelievable at that time for Team Finland, with the best player of the world being in the same tournament. And he was all about everybody knowing their role on the team and really taking pride on what role they had. I mean, it's just, I think in that, Richie touched up on that too, and JD likes to say, know your seat on the bus, and know your role on the team. Be proud of the role that you have on the team, and really appreciate and respect the roles of everybody else on the team. I think that's what makes our group so special, and that's what makes any team special. And we can take this to the next level. I'm convinced about that, and really, again, really excited about the potential and the future of this team and the individuals on it. I'm really proud of the steps some of the young guys took. I told Boone and Ryan and David Savard, you go into training camp and some guys have these statuses. Obviously, you're going to maybe give a little bit more of a look to a guy who's second overall pick, or Boone had played in the World Juniors twice, and being the captain of the team, 45 goals, and Savvy had over 70 points in junior, and we'd seen his skill and hockey sense before. But you don't want to put too much expectations on young guys when they come to camp, and they earned every step of their way. There wasn't any favors done to Boone Jenner or Ryan Murray that, he should be on the team because he's second overall. No way. They earned every step of the way, and the role got bigger as the season went on because they earned it. And that's the right way to do things. And I think they're going to earn even bigger roles on the team. And I think those guys are going to be key to pushing our older guys, our more experienced guys too. I think the best way to push the other guys on the team is showing the example every day. And when the older guys that might think that, okay, well, I don't have a lot of room for improvement, they watch these young guys get bigger, stronger, faster next to them, and they're going to go, whoa, I want to eat the same porridge as that guy does and have the same program. What is he doing? What can I do better to make sure that I keep up with this guy? And that's the healthy competition of a good team, and I think we have a lot of special things like that on our team.
Jarmo, to the end of getting quicker, faster, as Todd Richards has said, do you anticipate lots of moves this summer, little moves this summer? I know you like your core. How active do you plan to be this summer in bringing new faces, new blood in, either through free agency or trades?
Well, I think that we have to be careful. We want to keep the good chemistry, and we want to. I think that was a big theme going into this year, that we want to give our young guys enough room to grow and opportunity to play and get their ice time and get into the bigger roles and earning their team on the spot on the team. So we want to be careful of that, but at the same time, we're going to always look at every option that we have to make our team better. But with a special group like this, you want to make sure, and I've emphasized this with our amateur scouting staff and pro scouting staff, that when we bring in people, whether it's through the draft or through free agency or trade, we want to make sure about the character and the heart, and if you talk about playing fast, the ability to understand the game and playing on that instinct level that makes the game fast. One thing about getting faster is in our control, which is getting bigger and stronger and faster, just with the physical aspect of the game. But I can't emphasize the character enough to make sure that we always bring in the right type of people, not only as hockey players, but as teammates and human beings. So it's going to be an important part of our scouting manual, I call it, where we're trying to find out the hardest part to find out about players, which is their character.
From when you came into the organization, and I don't know if this is something you really quantify, would you say that the team is on schedule for where you expected it to be at this point in time, or maybe ahead of schedule, or where would you kind of put it if you take the long view from when you started?
Probably a little bit ahead of schedule, I'd say, because of the, like I said, with the young group, you don't really want to set any expectations that are too high, or some people call them unrealistic, or whatever you want to call them. But so you kind of let them, you watch them, you evaluate, and let them take their proper steps in their development, and give them the room to develop, rather than pushing them into situations where they're not ready for. I wasn't so familiar with the team before I got here. I'd seen a lot of the guys come through the draft and play in the NHL, but when you get in and you get in close with the team and you find out about their character really from the inside, then you know a lot more about these guys. And after having done that, then I'm not so surprised anymore that we maybe were a little ahead of schedule what I thought of a year ago. But knowing these guys, it doesn't surprise me anymore.
You mentioned about making room and making time for the young guys this year. With 3 first-round draft picks a year ago and the people that you had at Springfield, is there another wave of guys coming up that you have to make room for, or is that not? Are they not quite on that fast track they could be ready this fall?
Yeah, well, again, it's going to be, we evaluate those guys all the time. We've had some great prospects, having great seasons this year with Oliver Bjorkstrand is leading the league in the WHL in scoring a goal a game in the playoffs, which is like you're really excited about that. But then again, you want to make sure that he takes the proper steps to get stronger and be ready to compete on this level. So we're not rushing anybody in. We're not making room for anybody to get into a situation where they're not ready for. Kirby Reichel is, I think, second or third in the OHL in the playoff scoring. He's having a great year. Alexander Wenberg had a really good season in the Swedish Elite League. Had 16 goals in his first year in that league is great numbers. You can check anybody's numbers that are great Swedish players in this league, and you won't find too many better. And the way he played in the World Junior, that's always a great measure stick for me, where best players in the world under 20 get together and play, and it's a great tournament. It's fast and it's enthusiastic, and guys play with a lot of pride for their country, and it's just such a great tournament. And he was one of the best players in that tournament, without any question, and not even being biased for a Blue Jacket prospect. We had a lot of different people from different teams come and tell us and compliment Alexander Wenberg on how well he played in the World Junior. And that usually tells you that they don't come and tell us how good our players are unless they really are. So that was exciting as well. So we have, Mike Riley had a great season in Minnesota, All-American, but you want to make sure that we give him enough time to improve. And we have Chris Clark's doing a great job with our prospects. He goes regularly to see him. That's why we brought some of those young guys here after the season, so that they could see the atmosphere in the building, and they could see the pace of an NHL playoff game, and how much work they have to do to be able to play on that level. That's part of the education process that we want these young guys to go through, and they were all, wide-eyed, goosebumps, and who wouldn't be in this building? And that's one thing that I'd like to say too, is that I can't thank the fans enough of how the type of atmosphere they created here. I've been into a lot of places myself, and I've seen and witnessed great atmospheres, but this was something special. This was incredible here, and I hope that we can create that every game moving forward into the future.
You mentioned the chemistry within the team. How did the coaching staff help foster that? What's your evaluation, I guess, of what did Coach Richards and staff do to connect with these guys that you feel good about it at this stage coming out of this season?
Well, when I see our team play, I see a team that's prepared to play every night. Where we have good structure to our game. We have good discipline. We have guys get sort of a fair treatment from the coaching staff as a whole. Where you perform, you get ice time. You perform better, you get more ice time. And if you don't perform, you could be a healthy scratch. That's the best way to do it. And we don't have anybody who has sort of a exception that they could get some leeway, that they don't have to play well and they still get the same ice time. I think everything that you get with our team has to be earned, and in that way, I think we have an honest team, an honest atmosphere with our team, that you gotta earn your stripes.
With such a young team, it sounds like you're saying that you think the team's going to grow into this better and better team. And I'm just wondering, general manager's position is a position where you kind of make your mark by making a lot of deals or whatever. Is it hard to be in your position and have this team that you see growing and maybe having to stand back and not make a lot of try to make your mark by making deals?
Well, that's one thing I said at the trade deadline. I'm not here to try to make deals to make myself look good. I want to win. I don't care if we don't make any moves. If that's the right way in our minds to get better, is just grow as a group here and get better, and that's fine with me. I just want to win.
In your exit meetings with any of the unrestricted free agents, did you inform any of them that you would be interested or not interested in bringing them back?
We told everybody the same thing. This year we did things a little bit differently, where we kind of didn't want any distractions with the last 20, 25 games of the regular season sort of being playoff games, and certainly not during the playoffs. We don't want to do any of that stuff. Let everybody concentrate on their game and play the game. And now that the season's over, we're going to sit down. We have a meeting with the coaching staff at 1 o'clock. We had our exit meetings with the players. Then we're going to meet with we meet with the management every day almost to evaluate our group and look at the different ways to try to improve different positions, different roles in our team, whether it's going to come from inside, whether we might need somebody from the outside. We do that constantly, and then we're going to sit down at the at the end of the sort of an end of the year meeting about that too, and then we're going to start making those decisions and getting through the proper process with the players. Same as with the coaching staff. I mentioned that, and I won't get into that at all. So I would appreciate if you don't ask me about it, but we're going to go through that process now that I mentioned a couple days ago, and then when we have something more about that situation, then we'll inform you right away.
Jarmo, speaking of free agency, what Ryan is about to go through, presuming he would be in line for a pretty good-sized deal, is that a major consideration into how you go about making other player moves, considering the cap and what that might lead you into financially?
Well, we have our projections, and I won't get into those. I'm not worried about getting him signed. I'm convinced that we will. He was a good player for us, and like I mentioned, he's one of those players that I feel really excited about getting to the next level. And I told him that we're going to push you. We're going to make sure we have this guy, special player in our hands. We're going to make sure that we're going to push you to the next level, and you're going to help us. So I'm sure we'll get him signed through the proper process, and he'll be a big part of our future.
Have you thought about how different this season could have been, regular season and playoffs, if Nathan Horton were over 100% and thriving? It's almost like you really didn't have the full Nathan Horton this year.
Yeah, it's one of those things. The more you start thinking about things like that, more frustrating it gets, and it's out of your control. And I think that if you'd asked who the most frustrated person is, it would be Nathan Horton. I mean, I think that he's excited to sign with us. He's excited to be part of the team, and not being able to fully contribute because of injuries. The one we knew about, the shoulder, we knew it's going to take a lot of time to get healed from that, and then having the lower abdomen injury as well. But I think he's excited about getting 100% healthy for next year, and we're going to see a completely different player than we had this year. We're going to see the same guy that contributed to winning the Stanley Cup, or taking that team to the Stanley Cup Finals last year, and being a major part of that success. And that's the player that we expect to have back for next year. So that's really exciting for our team.
Jarmo, during December, your goaltending depth was tested a little bit when Sergei got hurt, and then Curtis also had some injuries. Are you comfortable with sort of that mid-range depth between Sergei and the guys that you have in junior, like Dansk and Forsberg?
Well, Forsberg's in Springfield right now, and he's played pro, and he's Swedish Elite League goalie. You got to be pretty good to play in that league. So that's something that we're going to again sit down after the year and see what we need to do to improve. We're going to look at goaltending. We're going to look at defense. We're going to look at penalty killing and power play players and role players, energy players, everything. So that's going to be one of the areas that we're going to look at, and I think that Curtis McElhinney performed very well for us. I think that he was a guy that was. It's not easy to have a goaltender that's expected to play maybe 70 games, and then you don't know where you're going to get your opportunities to be able to step in. And he played some great games for us. He stole a couple games for us, and won games for us, being the first star, and really performed well. And you know, he's a great pro. You need a great pro to be able to do that, and being prepared to play maybe those few games. And then he had more of an opportunity with Bob being hurt, and it was unfortunate that he suffered some injuries at that time too. But like I said, we're gonna look at every option to get better in every area of our team.
Can you say at this moment that you will not have any compliance buyouts? Is that not an option for you, or is that something you consider?
I think we're going to, again, look at every option that we have to improve our team. That's all I would say about that.
Anything else? Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.